Oh, the Rugrats. So, fun fact, the word Rugrats is said to be used when talking about young children, of course, but Rugrats? Turns out that the term was created because when kids are young, they crawl around carpets just like rodents. So if you use this term, you're literally calling your child a rat. Nice. We're off to a great start already. Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today I'm bringing you the top 10 scary Rugrats theories. And before I begin, let me know in the comments below what children's show you want me to do a scary theories video on next. So, Rugrats. It's a show that displays the world from a baby's point of view. It shows the adventures of the main characters who are Angelica, Chucky, Dill, Tommy, Phil, and Lil. Meanwhile, their parents are pretty oblivious of everything that's just going on. Starting off this countdown, we have the drug addict. You know that Cynthia doll that Angelica loves and carries around? Well, people have theorized that the doll is a reflection of Angelica's real mom. Theory goes that Angelica's biological mom was a drug addict. As a result, she often didn't take care of herself. She ended up dying from a drug overdose. Now, Angelica loved her mom. At least she received attention from her, unlike Charlotte, who's just too busy with work calls to even spend time with Angelica. So as a result, she made her Barbie doll look like her biological mom. Cynthia's hair is all matted and cut because, like I said before, Angelica's mom never took care of herself, meaning that's how her mom looked in Angelica's eyes. Angelica also took a piece of her mom's old dress and cut it to make a dress for her doll. She's super attached to the doll because it's her last connection to her mom. In our ninth spot, we have the PTSD. YouTuber Frank Bernard came up with this theory as an attempt to explain Chucky's anxious behavior. He's shown to get scared by harmless things like flower vases or a box of oatmeal. Well, he believes that Chucky might suffer from PTSD. PTSD is persistent mental and emotional stress from some sort of traumatic event. As a result, people with PTSD may live in constant fear and may suffer from bad anxiety. Both of these things Chucky experiences. Now, what event could have led to this? Well, it's theorized that it was the death of his mother. Although Chucky doesn't remember his mother, repression of memories is common for individuals with PTSD. So he may not remember his mother's death, but he is still negatively affected by it and suffers every day. In fact, in one episode titled I Remember Melville, Chucky's bug, Melville, dies. We can see him get super distraught over this. Tommy tries to talk some sense into him, but Chucky gets extremely overwhelmed and keeps telling him to just stop. It could be that the death of his bug triggered him with memories from his traumatic past. Moving on to number 8, we have the brain damage. So this theory surrounds Dill, the brother of Tommy and youngest member of the Pickles family. Okay, but why did I just realize that it's a play on words? Like his name is Dill and his last name is Pickles? Dill Pickles? Clever. It's really clever. Anyways, people said that he is quite the odd character. Some people believe that it's because he was dropped on his head as a child, and as a result, he had some sort of brain damage. When Dill was a baby, Angelica definitely had a hate-on for him, so people think that one day she accidentally dropped him on his head. This could explain why he had trouble communicating to everyone when he was a child. Now, in the show, Rugrats All Grown Up, we see how unusual Dill behaves. I mean, he wears a hat with fake teeth hanging off of it, and he's quite different, and he doesn't follow the typical social norms. He also tried to create items like pillow shoes or wristwatch t-shirts. On top of that, Tommy is shown to be very protective of him, probably because he knows that his brother suffers from brain damage. Now, in one episode of All Grown Up, Phil does confess that he dropped Dill on his head as a baby, but this theory states that Angelica did it numerous times, and that's what caused it. In our 7th spot, we have the bad parenting. This theory states that in the show, every child's personality is a reflection of their parents' parenting styles. They believe that the whole show was designed to warn parents about the negative effects poor parenting can have on their kids. So let's start off with Angelica. Her mother hardly gives her any attention. She's a workaholic, often on the phone with a dude named Jonathan, and she has no time for her daughter. Angelica behaves the way that she does because she's desperate to try and win her mother's attention. Her parents often give in to her demands as a way to just keep her quiet and so that she'll leave them alone. So now she's terribly bratty and needy. Next, we have Chucky. Well, Chucky, like I mentioned before, is scared of everything. This could be because Chucky's father is very anxious and it rubbed off on Chucky. Also, his dad babies him so much because he himself is a big baby. And then we have Phil and Lil. Well, the kids have to rely on each other because their parents are pretty neglectful. As a result, they both eat bugs and play in the mud and stuff because no one is there to stop them. So, there you have it. The show may just highlight how different parenting styles affect children. Moving on to number 6, we have the devil child. There is no doubt that Angelica is evil. She is abusive towards the babies, belittles others, and bosses her dad around. In fact, people have theorized that she is being possessed by some sort of evil spirit. I mean, this explains why she gets away with so much, because everyone is just afraid of her. As a result, her dad is always stuck saying pleasantries like calling her princess, angel, cupcake, pumpkin, etc. So she abuses her dad and others because everyone is just too afraid to stand up to her, afraid that she'll kill them. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the negligent parent. So in the show, the kids are often babysat at Tommy's house by either Dee Dee, Stu, or Grandpa Lou. But people have noticed how negligent all of these babysitters are. First off, we have Grandpa Lou. Half the time he's asleep and not even watching the babies. Then you have Stu. Well, the whole time he's just busy with his inventions. But his inventions always seem to malfunction, which can be super deadly for babies to be around. Oh, and then we have Dee Dee. Oh, Dee Dee. The whole time she's busy listening to a child expert named Dr. Lipschitz. That's his name, that's how you pronounce it. But anyway, this dude is clearly a big fraud, but Dee Dee doesn't see that. Instead, she just does everything and anything that this doctor says to do. But in reality, all of her kids are just left to do whatever they want, and they are constantly being bullied and yelled at by Angelica. But all the parents seem to be oblivious to this. In our 4th spot, we have the affair. Oh man, wait till you hear this one. So this theory states that Dee Dee is actually having an affair with Dr. Lipschitz. I mean, he isn't really a catch, but she clearly is infatuated with him. She listens to every word he says and is eerily obsessed with him. She frequently reads his books and tries to get others to also take his advice. Well, this could be because she is secretly seeing him, or at least was at some point without her husband knowing. Maybe Stu is too busy with his inventions to actually properly spend time with his wife. As a result, she has been seeing Dr. Lipschitz. She's just truly in love with the doctor and rather be with him than Stu. But for her children's sake, she remains married to him. Coming in at number 3, we have the creepy grandpa. So basically, this theory says that Grandpa Lou is a creep. So let's look at the facts. In one episode titled Grandpa's Date, Grandpa Lou says and does some questionable stuff. So he's babysitting Tommy and Chucky and tells them that he rented a movie for them. He says, and I quote, "There, now that they're gone, let's get down to some real fun. I've rented you boys some movies." He rented them a movie about the Reptar, but he rented a more explicit video for himself. He says, and I quote, "But my personal favorite is Lonely Space Vixens." He holds up a tape with a cover featuring a green-skinned female alien in a bikini. He then laughs and wiggles his eyebrows and says, "Now that's for after you go to bed." That is so inappropriate. He is literally showing the kids his dirty movies. Like, ugh, no! In our 2nd spot, we have the dead baby. Back in 2016, this theory took the world by storm. A lot of people couldn't look at the show the same way after reading about it. So this theory states that basically the babies we see in the show have all died and now they're just being imagined by Angelica. That's right. Angelica, feeling neglected by her parents, spends her days imagining friends to keep her company. I know she seems to hate them since we often see her yelling at them and calling them stupid babies, but she's just treating them how her parents treat her. In the end, the kids do keep her company. Now, moving on to the darker part. The children were once alive, but each died tragically. Tommy did not survive after being born prematurely. In fact, in the episode titled Mother's Day, we see photos of Tommy in an incubator, suggesting that he was a premature baby. His dad, Stu, handles the grief by constantly making toys in the basement for his son. Chucky died in 1986 along with his mother. This explains why Chaz is so nervous all the time. He's scared to lose another person that he loves. Lastly, the DeVilles had a miscarriage and lost their kid. Angelica never knew if the baby was going to be a boy or girl, so she created twins, one of each gender. So yeah, the babies are never actually there. Angelica knows what happened to these babies and decided to pretend that they're still alive to keep her company. And in our number 1 spot, we have the lost child. This is another really sad and dark theory. So in the episode titled Angelica's Worst Nightmare, her parents tell her that they're pregnant and they're having another baby. But at the end of the episode, her mom Charlotte goes to the doctors and finds out that they won't be having another child. So people theorize that she actually lost the child. At the end of the episode, Charlotte tells Angelica, and I quote, Turns out I'm not going to have a baby after all. Why choose to say that instead of, turns out I'm not pregnant? It makes it seem like something happened and it just wasn't a faulty test. So it could be that she indeed was pregnant but had a miscarriage. But this theory gets even darker. Basically, it suggests that Angelica somehow had something to do with this. In the episode, she clearly doesn't want a little baby brother or sister. She is so distraught over the idea. So could it be that she is somehow responsible for her mother's miscarriage? At the end of the episode, when she gets the news, she gets all sarcastic and says, "Aw, you mean I won't have a little baby brother or sister? Jeez, I was looking forward to having a baby around." That's legit what she said in that tone. And then she goes to her room and celebrates. And that's all for today's video. Let's move on to our comment shout out portion. I'll be shouting out comments from my video Top 10 Scary Sesame Street Theories Part 3. Stephen Parker Jr. commented, "There was actually an episode of Sesame Street where Cookie Monster actually tries to eat Kermit." What? How did I see this episode? That's funny. I kind of want to check that out now. Wow. Dang Cookie Monster. Timothy Smith commented, "I've got a bunch of old Hardy Boys books in storage. I've had them for years. Stay safe." I'm so jealous! Oh! Every time that I go to the thrift store, I check the book section to see if they have Hardy Boys or Nancy Drew, and then I'll get them because I want to complete my collection of Nancy Drew books and even start my Hardy Boy collection. Whew, so excited. Salma and Angela commented, "Lindsay Ivan, you're my favorite person here. Love this channel." Oh, thank you so much. It makes my day. It makes me happy. Thanks, Suzanne. Thank you. And that's all the comments I'm shouting out for today. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see you.